YouTube, but I kind of like it when we can be a little more interactive, even though I know that this is something that is videotaped and seen by other people that are not actually here today. So I thought these words, I want to start with these words today. This is from the Book of Runes. I'm part of a group that does med art every Thursday, and at the end of our meditation and drawing, we pick from the runes to kind of get a little spiritual guidance for the week, you know, what's going on. This is from the self. To thine own self be true. And these words too may be contemplated. Strive to live the ordinary life in a non-ordinary way. Remember at all times what is coming to be, passing away, and focus on that which abides. Nothing less is called for you now. It is a time of major growth and rectification. And as a rule, rectification must come before progress. I thought that those were kind of words that we can hold on to at this moment in time, along with every noon, at noontime, I am ringing a bell like this, just kind of marking the day. So at this moment in time, we're 68 days away from Biden taking over. So it's just my way of staying focused, and I welcome you to join with your bell. Come at noontime, it's a little bell that just says, okay, you know, I'm going to be able to get through this day. I'm just focusing in on what is good. Where are we heading? You know, this is one of those let's see, remember at all times what is coming to be and passing away, and focus on what abides. Like, where are we headed? What abides? What stays in this? What is important to stay in this process? So it's just my little self-healing tools that I welcome you to join me, and maybe with all of our bells going in, we can begin to move some of this energy to a more real situation, and really allowing the country to move and grow where it needs to grow. Index finger and thumb in Chi Mudra, bring it onto your thighs. And I hope you're sitting on a blanket and allow for the low back curve. It is our best friend. Low back curve, strengthen the upper back, curve in the neck. These are all our happy places. So just allow your breath to deepen and bring it right down into the belly. So settle in. We are here to settle into our inner landscape, feeling the ordinary life lived in a non-ordinary way. Breathing in, and just allowing the mind to stay with this deeper breath, cleansing and clearing everything that came before, and just concentrating on where the breath is in your body, and allowing the breath to settle into the belly, which settles the hips, which settles onto the earth. And we ground first, always. It's the lesson of the trees. We ground first, and then we elongate up through the spine, all the way up to the seventh chakra, way at the top. And feel it all the way through, from root chakras, first chakra, all the way to the seventh. A deep inhale and exhale. Just feeling the way, even now, as we center in the peace and the calm that comes with that. And now bring the breath into the belly, then let it rise all the way up to the lungs, and then from there all the way up to the base of the neck. You're going to hold at the very top of the inhale, and I love this space because I so want to rush to the exhale. But I just go, no, wait, hold back. Create this space, feel this space, and then exhale out from the throat, down into the lungs, and then again into the belly. Breathing in. Allowing the breath to bring us into this inner landscape. Maybe feeling a little bare like the tree, like the trees, the branches on the trees right now. So good. This is a fall lesson. Are you comfortable being bare? And then with your next exhale, then let your chin come down to the chest as we breathe into the opening of the neck and the upper part of the back. And often we're faced right with whatever tension we may be holding. Neck and hips carrying the most. And just let your breath breathe into that spot. Just leave open space for that to change. Letting the chin move a little closer to the chest. And then releasing your hands from your thighs and bringing them to the floor on either side of the hips. And on the inhale, lift the arms and lift the gaze in the seated sun breath. And return the palms and you exhale, fingertips down and chin to the chest. And then the palms roll upward. And I'm always humbled by this because I'm going through my auric field. And then release your hands, coming all the way back down, feeling the enormity of my own energy, chin to your chest. And then the arms reach up again. And then turn the palms and exhale. Fingertips down, chin to the chest. Last time, palms roll all the way up. Hands go to prayer over your head, then down to the heart as you close your eyes for a moment and breathe into your own inner landscape. And this is a place where we are meant to change. This is the only place we can effectively change in this lifetime, right here, in our own inner landscape. So living the ordinary life in a non-ordinary way, we open our eyes, release our hands, and stay seated into the seated pose. And just notice which leg you have in front. And then you're going to bring the left hand onto the floor, the right arm is going to reach up, and you're just going to do a stretch over, just a gentle morning stretch to wake up the spine. The nice deep breath. And then release and come all the way back down, and left arm reaches up and over. Nice deep breath. Good. Release, come all the way back down. Just switch your feet. Put the other foot in front. Right arm reaches up again and over. Just notice if that changes the way it feels in your body. And then release and come all the way down. Left arm reaches up and over. Breathing in. Good. Then release and come all the way back. Switch your leg back again. First leg. Left hand onto the right knee. Inhale all the way up and rotate. This is a gentle rotation, not deep. Just waking up the body, waking up the spine. Release, come all the way back to center. And right hand onto the left knee. Nice deep breath. Good. Release, come all the way back to center. Switch your feet. Good. Left hand onto the right knee again. Just notice. You might notice what side may be a little tighter this morning. Release, come all the way back to center, and right hand onto the left. Good. And then come all the way back. Go back to the first leg in front, hands onto your knees. You're going to round your back, taking a nice deep breath. We're coming into a cat, a seated cat, and then inhale all the way back up, and exhale forward into a cow. Keeping the hips solid onto the floor. Let your heart stretch. Inhale up and exhale, round. Belly goes in, upper back round. You're breathing right into the upper part of the back. Taking a nice deep breath until you can really feel that part of your back opening. Inhale all the way up and exhale forward. Coming into a cow. Good. Gaze up hard up. Don't let your chin go down to the chest. Lift, lift, lift. Hips down towards the floor. And then inhale all the way back. Just switch your legs. Good. Taking a nice deep breath. Exhale round. And inhale up and exhale forward into the cow. Good. Then coming all the way back to center. Exhale round. Belly in towards the spine. Chin down towards the chest. Inhale all the way up and exhale forward. Good. And then come all the way back. All right, so come off of your pillow or your blanket. Come into a standing pose. All the way up. Feet mat width apart. Hands on your hips. And rotate the hips all the way around in one direction. Belly is connected to the lower part of your back. Feet are solid onto the floor. So you're going to really feel that. Now, bend your knees a little bit. And just kind of get into a deeper turn of the hips. And then reverse the direction. Soften the knees, get deeper into the hips. Good. And one more time, coming back to center, move in the opposite direction. I want you to bend your knees and allow yourself not to come forward, but stay right upright, just rotating around, feeling the energy of your feet onto the floor, and then circle in the opposite direction. So bending the knees a little bit is a little more power to your feet. And the more we learn how to get more power to your feet, the more we are actually engaging the muscles of our legs. So come all the way back to center, feet parallel. Just come into a standing Tadasana, the mountain pose, and close your eyes for a moment. The mountain has changed, bare trees, river still flowing, maybe more dynamic clouds. The smell around in the mountains must be that of the dead leaves and the earth just drinking in those leaves. You can even smell it in your backyard. Just breathing in power of the mountain, earth and sky. And then opening up your eyes and let your arms reach all the way up over your head, a standing mountain pose, Tadasana, and then bend your knees, take the thighs back, bring your hands down towards the floor, head towards the floor. Inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale and fold. And arms are going to reach all the way out again until we come back to the standing Tadasana, maybe bare leaf, bare tree branches right now. Breathing in and then exhale and fold. Shins forward, thighs back, head down towards the floor. Let the right foot go back into the runner stretch. Taking a nice deep breath. If you need blocks to make this a pose that feels good in your body this morning, then please do. Left hip goes back towards the wall behind you. Right heel lifts up. Now if you find that you're bending down, you're rounding your back, remember what that felt like, see if you can lift up through your spine. So Carol, lift up a little bit more. Use blocks. Use the blocks. You can really get your spine to elongate. Props are good. We need props. Get a nice long spine. Yeah, there you go. Nice deep breath. Just switch your feet. Right leg comes forward, left leg back. We're opening up our hips, feeling our way into the grounding energy. Remember the trees now, without having to give all that energy to their leaves, they're putting it into their roots. We are too. Put it into your roots, nice and deep. Left heel up towards the ceiling, breathing in, and then let your left foot come up to the right, head down towards the floor. Arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way up. Hands go to pray over your head, and then down to the heart. Okay, we're beginning to warm up now. Jacket's coming off. All right, so we're going to come back into the runner stretch. We're going to go sideways this time. Right foot back. Bend into the left knee. Make sure your knee is tracking over your ankle. Right heel up towards the ceiling, but my heel is pressing back. So I'm engaging my quads. I'm engaging my muscles in my right leg. So let your hand come to the top of the left knee. Good, and then add the arms all the way up. Virabhadrasana 1 with a nice deep breath. Just let your left heel go onto the floor, rotating the torso. Come to Virabhadrasana 2 with a nice deep breath. Good, so you're parallel to the long side of the mat. Good, nice. Feel the warrior pose and bring your gaze over your left hand. And breathe. Good, left elbow onto the floor. Take your right hand down in front of you and sweep it. Consciously, sweep it all the way up. Then rotate your torso around so that your heart is lifting up towards the ceiling, towards the blue sky. Take your right hip back slightly so you're feeling more of the power of your left toe mound to your fingers. And breathe. So just wake up to this fall morning, living the ordinary life in a non-ordinary way. I'd say this is how we do it. Inhale all the way back to Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Then hands onto the hips and just heel toe your way back to center. I'm going to switch my blocks. You don't have to. This time it's the right foot forward and the left foot back. No two sides are the same. I'm always grateful that no two sides are the same. It allows me not to sleep at the wheel. I'm going to really consciously figure out what does this side need. Left thigh goes back, left heel goes back. Good, maybe hands onto the hips, onto your blocks first, then the hips, then the leg, and come up. Nice deep breath, add the arms all the way. Keep working the pose. Just be happy to just get into the pose. I take the thigh back a little bit more, heel back, engage the belly, lift the heart. See if I can bend into the right knee a little bit more. Just breathing in. Now from here, just let your left heel go onto the floor, parallel to the short side of the mat, and come into Virabhadrasana 2 on this side. Look over your right hand. And as the gift of the warrior, it is that you are steady and centered in the middle of a hurricane, in the middle of a battle, in the middle of a war. Just stay in your center. Nice deep breath. With strength and courage, then bend your right elbow onto the knee. Left hand comes in front and sweeps up. So you're having your head of the arm bone move towards the back body. And when that's in place, then you can take the left hip back a little bit more. Rotate the torso a little bit more. So you're really stretching. Good, maybe bend into the right hip a little bit. And then come all the way back up to Virabhadrasana 2 and look over your right arm and breathe. Good, and hands onto the hips. Come all the way back to the standing mountain pose. Arms reach all the way up. Exhale in full, shins forward, thighs back, head down towards the floor. Inhale halfway up. And then Ardha Uttanasana. Head down into Uttanasana. Arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way up. Hands go to prayer over your head. And then down to the heart. All right, so we're going to open up, do a little bit of opening up your hips here. So we're going to go back to the left foot forward and the right foot back. And you're going to do the Virabhadrasana 2 position so that your foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. So here, bending into the knee, the left knee, you're going to lift your heel up off off the floor. Then take your left hand and press your top of your thigh down towards the earth. So use your hand to press it down towards the earth. And you may want to pulse it a little bit. Just pulsing it down. Good. Just opening up the hip a little bit. Heel has to be up, so you get a little bit of room to do that in the hip. And then bring your heel back onto the floor. And then straighten the leg. And just turn your feet right where you are, so we're doing the other side. It's a little trick to open up the hips. So make sure that you're at a good stance so you can get a good stretch. Lift the heel up. And again, I'm pressing actively down right at the crease. Palm of my hand is there and I'm pressing down. Just kind of breathing my way into the stretch. Keeping my little toe mound active on the left. Good. Then bring your heel onto the floor and straighten that out. Good. So let's go back to the first. Exhale into the left knee. Press into the foot to straighten. And then exhale and bend again. Always using the muscles. So let the knee follow the muscles. You want to strengthen the muscles on either side of your knee. Just, this is a quiet kind of a way to do that. Just stretch, it's all about the foot, connecting the foot and using the muscles. So just find that in this exercise, a way of listening to the way the muscles are working and the bones are following. Good. Last time, bend into the left. Inhale up. Just switch your legs. Make sure that your arch is in line with your heel. I'm assuming you're doing that. You're good on your Sara. Students, exhale, bend. Little toe mound down. And press into the foot to straighten. Now you might find that one leg has more of a connection than the other. Just notice that. It's very important so that we're really realistic about how we're working our body. Exhale, bend. And inhale up. Good. Last time, exhale, bend. And inhale up. Good. So I want your blocks to be one on top of the other. We're going to move into Trikonasana, but I want to do this again from this place of really stretching your, hello? Can you hear me?
No, we need more volume.
You need more volume? Huh. Isn't that funny? Got everything going here. All right, so the microphone is right here. I'm not sure. How is that?
No.
No one can hear me?
No.
Wow.
I can hear you, but you're not as strong as you were at the beginning.
All right, let me just unmute to mute again.
You're definitely dimmer.
Oh, for goodness sake.
We're fine.
And how is that? Did that change anything?
Yes.
All right. Well, mine was maybe. Okay, good. All right. So what we're doing here, left foot right next to the block, right foot back. Well, I want to keep the Trikonasana high because it's really not about getting down at all, but it is about lengthening both sides of the waistline. And I find I can only do this when I'm engaging my belly and my little toe mound is down. So I'm looking for those deeper connections. And notice my knee automatically on both sides will lock. So just notice that tendency is probably within you as well. So I've got to re-engage with my feet first before I ever start doing anything. Otherwise, I'm pressing my ligaments too far. All right, so I want you to lift your arms up back to what's a standing Tadasana. You're going to clasp your thumbs. Now the goal here is to move slowly and notice if your hip that you start this, is the tendency, a weak hip will start going forward. You want to take that back, take the top of the thigh back, press more evenly into the little toe mound, rooting that tree, and then stretching both sides. Both sides of the waistline, we're not reaching with the left side collapsing. You're stretching the left side as much as you are the right. And then you may have to engage your belly again. Take your thigh back. Good. All core work, strong legs. Then open the arms so that the left arm is hitting the block. Right arm is probably in the right place with the head of the arm bone up and back. Just make sure you're seeing your hand. Don't let your hand go behind you. Breathing in and then inhale and come all the way back up. Ton of work. Ton of work. All right. Heel toe, heel toe. I'm just moving my blocks to the other side so I can stay watching you. All right, left foot forward and right foot back. No two sides ever the same. I say that over and over again, but it's so true. Depending on your hip and depending on your weaknesses or strengths, this whole pose is a very different experience. So, first lock, make sure your knee is not locked and that your foot is really connected. Now, notice if your hip is coming forward, because the minute your hip is coming forward, then your foot is not engaged. It's only engaged on the inside of the foot, but I want the outside of the foot. So for me to do that, I've got to take my thigh back. Arms reach all the way up. So the goal here is to stretch both sides of the waistline and allow your arms, your legs to stay strong. So stretching, stretching, stretching. Nice deep breath. Just keep the stretch and keep moving it through your body. Top of the left thigh back. Reaching, reaching, reaching. You want other parts of your body to help connect the pose. Now open the arms. Right hand will reach the block. Left arm up. Breathing in. Good. Then inhale and come all the way back. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, all the way back. All right. Now that's a big stretch. We can do that in the summer, but it doesn't feel as deep. This is Rose saying what's right in my body. It doesn't feel as deep in the summer because I'm loosey-goosey. And I can go deep, but it's more about exploding out. Because my body wants to explode out. In the wintertime, I'm going inward much more. So let's go into downward dog. Fingerprints down back of the palm knuckles down. Let's go to the bowing Vajrasana first. Breathing in. Again, nice deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Notice how your bottom tips of the rib cage automatically go to your thighs. I want to just take some of that away. I want to lift the bottom tip of my rib cage up to bring my hips further back towards my heel. Notice that connection. And then we're stretching the front body, head towards your fingers, hips away from your hands. Press into your toes, into your feet, and come all the way up into downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Bring the sits bones all the way up towards the ceiling. And then in that, keep your sits bones all the way up. Here's the trick. Bring the rib cage up into that without losing that low back curve. Good. And then release and come all the way back down. All right, so we're on in a seated pose and come all the way into Dandasana, the staff pose. Inner spiral. Now that we've got our hips way open, we can do some deeper twists. And for that, we're going to use our blocks. Use the blocks. with a nice deep breath. So let's just start in Dandasana. And just notice with the inner spiral and taking the sits bones onto the floor, when you have your hips really open, this begins to become an expression of reaching. So your head is reaching for your toes. And you don't want to round your back. There are places where rounding the back is good, but this is not one of them. You want to extend through the spine. You want to get to the lower part of the back and press your hips down towards the earth, lifting all the way up. Now for some, this is going to be a stretch. It could be a stretch right here. I just want you to go to the edge to where you still have a low back curve. You're lifting up through the spine, sits bones connected, and you can reach. Just with your breath, reach into a nice deep breath. Good. And then inhale and come all the way back up. So we're going to come back to a Baddha Konasana. For the first Baddha Konasana of the day, letting the knees flutter. Now a lot of people have problems with opening your hip flexors, so this is a way. We'll probably work on this more and more through fall and winter. Do bring the block in between your legs, and you're going to come onto the little toe mound of your foot. Lift your heel up towards the ceiling. And kind of like what we did standing when we were pressing down, and we were also lifting the heel up to give a little bit more room towards your hip. We're going to do the same here. And bring the knees up. Bring them by your arms. Breathing in, and get your sits bones to come onto the floor. Now for me to do that, I need to engage my belly. So I can't do this without engaging my belly and my low back. Taking a nice deep breath, and then slowly, keeping your heel up. Bring your knees down towards the floor. Keep your heel up. Still keep creating that space. And then come back. Come back to the knees up. Breathing in. Good. Just taking a nice deep breath. Then again, slowly, just letting the knees blossom open. Nice deep breath. And just one more time. Knees up. I'm holding on so that I can keep my back from rounding. So you can hold on to wherever it's good for you, wherever that is, just so you give a little more strength to your core and your spine, and then let all of that energy help you open your knees out to the side. Good. Then take the block away, bring your feet together, and once again, just do the bouncing and a nice deep breath. Good. So here we're just going to go into a slightly deeper twist. Come forward again with Dandasana, inner spiral. And you're going to cross your left over your right with your block. So your left leg is crossing over the right. Your block is to the slightly back of your hips. You can do the block depending on your reach. It may be that the lower side is good or the middle side. Don't go to the high side. We want the block to be stable onto the floor. I'm going to take the low side down. So to inhale up, let the right arm reach up, cross it over. You want to take your left hand onto the block. So here we are, left hand on the block. Press down on the left hand on the block. A little bit more length. You can use a little more muscle power in your arm. And then let's see how that engages your belly a little more. Use the power of your hand, pressing down on the block to do a deeper twist. Now you can see how when we were doing Trikonasana, how both sides of the waistline, we were holding that. We just let some of that that knowledge that you have in your body be used here. Nice deep breath. Now, if you're rounding your back, take your block a little bit further away from you. In other words, if you're like this, I want you to take your block away so you can press your spine a little straighter. Perfect, Carol. Good. Nice deep breath. I am watching. Gina, I can't see you, but I hope that I see your head. I can't see your torso.
Oh my
Breathe in. If you're watching this at home, notice where you are and help yourself to lift up a little more. Small adjustments make a very big difference. Good. Release. Come all the way back to center. Woo, I need to do Dandasana. Okay. And again, this time I want you to round your back. Breathe in. A nice deep breath. Now know the difference between rounding your back, bringing your head down towards your knees, and then lifting up to the flat back, where you are with the flat back. And then engage your belly towards your spine. Bring the rib cage in so you can really feel the back, upper part of your back. And that to me, in where I am, is a very big practice because I think my upper back is too weak. And then inhale and come all the way back up. Cross your right over your left this time, and you're going to bring the block over. Now, if this is real simple and you want to take this a little deeper, bringing your bottom leg up, then do. But I really don't let anything impede this action. This is the action I really want you to feel today. Left arm is crossing over, and your hand is on the block. So the hand is on the block to help you two ways: to straighten up and to press down, connect here to your belly. Notice how when your shoulder girdle is connected to your belly, you can twist deeper. Hand on the block, actively pressing down. Good. Just feel that stretch through you. So once your body feels it, then it knows exactly where to go. And it doesn't matter what class you take, it's going to want to go deep in. It's going to want to feel this. Good. Then release and come all the way back to center. Dandasana, inner spiral. Come forward to a flat back first. Nice deep breath, then round your back. And then inhale back into a flat back. And one more time, round the back. And we all know that the health of our body comes from the health of our spine. And it makes perfect sense. You know, it's the grand connectors. The Sushumna is there, the energy centers. And here when we're doing this kind of connecting of the energy centers, and we're encouraging this vibrancy through our body. All right, so now we're still going to be using our blocks, but we're going to go to Janu Shirsasana. He's going to take the right knee out to the side. Remember what we were just doing with Baddha Konasana? See if you can open that knee to the side to wherever that is for you. And when it's opened, and only when it's open, then bring the foot into the thigh. So lift up and just walk your hands forward. Kind of see where you are. How long does it take? You keep your sits bones down. Sits bones might want to lift up. Keep the sits bones down. Remember that Trikonasana stretch? Keep that Trikonasana stretch going as you come forward with a nice deep breath. So become friends with that which is both needing to be stretched and strengthened. Good, then inhale and come all the way back up. So your left leg is out. I want you to put the left block exactly where it was before, or what works for you. Right hand crosses over onto the outside of the left knee. And again, that length, Trikonasana length through the spine. I'm putting the block Back a little further for knee, pressing down and rotating. But again, it's a combination of engaging my arm, the muscles down the side of my body, and helping that to turn my rib cage over to the left and breathing in. And the point, the miracle is there's all the parts of your body, when they come together, it's just a wonderful, miraculous thing. Breathing in. Good. Then release and come all the way back to center. Now wait for a little flush of blood that might be coming, and make sure that we haven't collapsed in any way, keeping the front body well opened, and then keeping that open, walk forward. Just walk forward. You might find that as you're coming down here, you're both feeling strength in your back because you haven't given your rib cage, you haven't let your rib cage just collapse your back. You're engaging the rib cage up, so there's that Trikonasana stretch going on. Even here, good. Christina, make sure you're opening your chest. In the process, head up. Everybody bring your head up. Good. Inhale and come all the way back up. Good. And then let your legs just flutter onto the floor. Come back to Dandasana. Nice deep breath. So just take a moment to come into Dandasana. Close your eyes if you feel better in a seated pose for a moment. I just want you to close your eyes and just feel the energy going through your body right now. Just taking a nice deep breath. Just do a little scan to see whether there's some part of your body that might still be a little stuck or a little blocked. This is how we read our energy, and this is how we stay centered, because we know we've taken the time to read the alphabet of our body. So we've gone from just the alphabet to creating words, and then a sentence, and then paragraphs and books. Good, and then come all the way back. So other side. Coming back to Janushirasana. I got it. I remembered. I'm still the same. All right, so bring the knee out to the side. Good. Now I want you to be honest. Your knee needs to be up a little bit to get the knee to open up. Do that. Good. Make sure that it's open before you tuck it in, so that you can really get the most out of that opening. Good. Let the leg just kind of settle in. You may have to adjust it a little. Bring it up a little bit. Slowly bring it down. Okay, so everybody is going to be a little different with this. Toes, your right toes are always engaged. We're hugging. I need my toes to keep my hips onto the floor and keep the backs of my thighs onto the floor. Good, so just walk, just feel the difference right now of what the right side feels than the left. Breathing in, it's a part of the ABCs of our body. What does it take to actually anchor that right hip down? Is there a blockage? You know, I have SI trouble sometimes, so I have to really work a little harder on this side. This is where my SI sometimes goes kitty-wompy. And then inhale and come all the way back. So I move on this side a little more gingerly. Let the left hand come onto the right. Lift all the way up in that solid Trikonasana that was reaching. Then your block is towards your back. Right hand onto the block, and you're really pressing down to lift up. As you lift up through the spine in this dynamic way, take the left rib cage over, engage the belly, and just breathe into this fall-winter stretch with a nice deep breath. Hand to knee to hand. This is very active. I'm using this power to help me get this power down, to engage this power, lifting up and then rotating. So just a wonderful little thing, a little fun activity of connecting the dots. Nice deep breath. And then release, come all the way back, and just stay here for a moment to get that wonderful little flush of energy that kind of rounds in there, right into your whole torso that you just created this wonderful opening. And then bring your fingers down. You're walking your fingers towards your toes. Make sure your right toes are active. Everything is active. Round your back. And then come to a flat back. Good, round the back again. And then come to a flat back. Good, and then walk all the way back up again. Bring both legs forward into Dandasana. Just let them flutter. All right. So the last big twist of the day, you're thinking, oh my God, there's one more. Yes, one more. All right, so you're gonna bring your left knee up, and I'm gonna show this sideways. This is Marichiasana. Oh, I gotta show it sideways this way, sorry. So your left foot is up, and you know what? It's hugging into your chest. Now you know how to engage your belly and lift up through the spine, so you're doing this hug in. You can use your block if you want, if you feel like you really need to get that little extra stretch up, use the block again. You're taking your left hand and you're bringing it in front of, why don't we bring it to the outside of your right knee, lifting all the way up. So you're taking your knee into your side or back body, Marichiasana, that's it, and looking over your right shoulder. So we're here, keeping the left hip down. I'm going to use my block. I feel like I need to use it today. I'm going to bring my torso forward. I'm going to have it help me bring my torso forward and rotate. Marichiasana. We've done this in class before where we clasp. So this is different from the other poses because you're bringing your left side body and back into your knee and you're holding your knee in place. So here we go. It's like this. We're not crossing over this way, which is what we automatically do, the Ardha Matsyendrasana. But this is different. And this is a different kind of a stretch through the torso. Come all the way back. And you're going to say, oh my God. All right, come all the way forward into a Paschimottanasana. I guarantee you today you will feel a big flush of energy coming through you. That's what the twists do. And we're going very deep in today. Inhale all the way back up. So other side. I promise this is my last twist. So we're bringing the right knee up this time. And it's a bit of work to stay upright. In other words, rounding is what we want to do. And we want to bring the whole torso upright. So again, we're going to bring the right hand across. Left side is coming right into the leg. Oops, come back to your block. Put your block behind you on the left side. Right hand is crossing over and you're rotating. Now, because this is a different kind of a twist, it may feel different in your body, which is a good thing. It may not feel normal. And again, your knee may want to go down towards the side. It takes a little bit of energy to keep your knee into your shoulder and your shoulder into your knee. Good. Release. Come all the way back. Whew. And just for a moment, sit in Dandasana. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in. Feel the security of the earth under your legs. Feel the air and the sky through your torso. You just did a big stretch, big flood of energy. I know I've got a lot of big pooling of energy that's coming into my in my abdomen area. Just breathing in and then roll forward. Nice deep breath. Breathing in and then release and come all the way back up. All right. So just stretching a little bit of the front body. We've done this before in this class. You're going to take your block under your hips. Let your hips rest on the block. So we're already here. You might already be feeling a stretch through the front body. Let yourself be supported by that with a nice deep breath. Moving the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. You want to lift your heart up already. Back of the head kisses the earth. Feet solid onto the floor. Just gently lift your hips up off of the block by bringing your knees away from your head. So you're gently opening up your front body. Again, you're not just jamming your hips forward, up towards the ceiling. You're allowing the opening to be a breath through your body. And then release, bring your hips back onto the floor, onto the block rather, sorry. And then pressing your knees away from your head, create the stretch. And the stretch is not extreme. It's just enough to feel your quads opening, breathing in, heart opening, almost in a restful position. And then release and come all the way back down. Then bring your knees into your chest. And we're just going to do this gentle legs up. Almost like it's legs up the wall, except you're on the block, your hips are slightly lifted, and you're just lifting your legs up. And breathing in a nice deep breath. This action of reversing the flood of blood through your legs is a really good thing to do on a regular basis. Good for the heart. Good for reversing the circulation. You don't want your body to get too stagnant. You want it to experience different things and allow it to play. This is one of those easy play things. Just bringing your hips up and legs up. Breathing in. And then release that, bringing your feet onto the floor. Lift up so that you can move the block out of the way. And now, bring your feet mat width apart. And then let your knees just go from one side to another like windshield wipers. One side to another. And just notice your hips. Notice your flexibility. You're going to let your legs go over to the right side and lift your left arm up over your head. And again, creating a gentle breathing stretch into the side body. So these are opportunities. This is not about trying to get anywhere, but making those wonderful connections of breath. Knee presses away from you, arms over your head, and you're breathing into the left side body. Just take this as an opportunity to open your roots down deeper into the earth. And then release, come all the way back to center, keeping your legs mat width apart. You're just going to let the knees windshield wiper from side to side. And then eventually over to the left side with the right knee coming down. Being in the middle and the right arm reaching up. Now it's the right side body we're breathing into. Just allowing the breath to just incorporate all of the opening. Good. Just breathing in. This is just an invitation to feel how your body has opened during this practice. Good, then release and come all the way back, up. Bring your knees into your chest, hug them in. And just let in one direction, so you're massaging the lower part of your back. Do it slowly, resist going fast. In this class, we're just going to go slow and listen and watch. Good. And then move in the opposite direction. We do everything else fast in our life, right? We're always running. Good. Then come all the way back to center, and you're going to move into Shavasana. Good. Just going to allow ourselves to breathe. Breathe our way into Mother Earth as we are connected to her. And any opportunity we have to relate, to connect in, is a gift and full of grace, allowing that deep connection. Letting your breath deepen. Now, even in the slightest breeze, hundreds of leaves release, raining down to the earth, finding their wings to fly. So allow small movements to come back into your fingers and back into your toes. Let your knees float up into your chest and hug them in, gently rocking from side to side. And then rolling to one side as you pause for a moment and breathe into your own inner landscape. Grateful for this time to share together, feeling our breath move easily through knowledge into our everyday life. And then continue the side roll all the way up and bring your hands to prayer position at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. And then together, let's do one Om. So take a breath in. May we have peace in our heart and peace in our mind, and true and everlasting peace, healing, and transition on this planet. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your Friday morning with me. Remember to ring your bells at noon. Count the days. I'll be ringing mine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose. That was great. Thank you, Rose.
Okay, thank you.
Be well.